Today, I'm going to talk to Marilyn Jenkins here from the Law Firm Marketing Zone.
I think the thing is you have to think similarly when it comes to the language. Let's think in common English phrases, right? You've learned all the procedures, you've learned all the big words and all the things, and that doesn't work in marketing. When you think about the fact that most people, when they reach out to an attorney, they're having a bad day in their life. So your credentials may not mean as much as what you do for them, how you can help them, who you've helped in the past. Google is the #1 search engine in the world. They reward engagement. If you're engaged with your Google business profile, consistently updating it weekly or every twice a week, they're going to see that you are interested in the user experience, and they will give you potentially a higher rating in the Google Map Pack.
All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Emil Labadian. I'm the CEO and founder of Counsel CPAs, a specialized CPA firm working exclusively with solo and small law firms. Today, I'm going to talk to Marilyn Jenkins here from the Law Firm Marketing Zone, and to hear a little bit more about how our law firm clients can utilize marketing services specialized for law firms and how they can grow their business using, hopefully, Marilyn here. Marilyn, welcome here. How's everything?
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Everything's great. I'm excited to be on your show.
Fantastic. So let's just start with a kind of the backstory, like quick introduction of who you are, what you're doing, and then we'll dig into. I have a lot of questions for you today.
Absolutely. I'm Marilyn Jenkins with Law Marketing Zone. I've been doing digital marketing since the mid-90s, and so seen a lot of changes over the years. And of course, the original, start with people who need websites, then they need traffic, and then being able to deliver with paid ads. And it just made a great transition to brand to the Law Marketing Zone because we were having really great success with law firms, especially the business to consumer type law firms. I think family law, estate planning, workers' comp, criminal, that sort of thing, family law. So we do a full service digital marketing, including a bilingual 24/7 client intake service.
Interesting. That's kind of, we both have a similar or exactly same niche. That's why we here communicating. I talked to Marilyn a few months ago, and I thought what she's doing is pretty amazing. It's very similar to what we are doing with our clients, but in the marketing world. We are obviously not marketing people, but. So just tell me a little bit, how did you get into the marketing niche? Because I'm interested to see if we have a similar story there or not.
Well, it started as, I've always been into technology, and I had my own internet companies and did publishing and different things. And so when I exited those, I had the opportunity to help people who knew they needed a website but didn't know why, help start doing that. So I started building websites. Then it transitioned to, okay, now I need traffic to the website. And then Facebook opened up ads and Google ads. So it was a transition of just growth as businesses and clients and friends needed the additional exposure online. So it's something I've always kept up with and just enjoyed. And as I just delivered really well for my clients, it just started growing into a bigger and a bigger business. And so referrals and growth. And now we service a few non-attorneys, but we service mostly attorneys and get them positive ROI every month and some multi-million-dollar settlements every year, or retainers every year, and up to 14x ROI on our clients.
Hold on that 14x ROI. I want to come back to that in a bit here before I go through this. Because I'm interested, because as we are only, my firm's Counsel CPAs, we only work with law firm. We used to do work with all kind of industries in the past, but going forward, only working with law firms. So our clients are 100% in the legal industry. And we figure that it's really helping not only our clients with providing value, but also internally, the team building makes everything so much more streamlined internally, as well as so much more value that could be provided to our client. Do you feel the same in the marketing world?
Absolutely. It's like focus, you deliver the same thing to everybody and it makes it easier. We know what works in certain practice areas and what doesn't. We know the tweaks to make because we've been doing it. We don't service everybody. I have a couple of legacy clients that have been with me for years and years. And, it's just, we're delivering for them. It's great. But our new clients, all of our clients since 2018 have been attorneys. And we've got a process that works. We have an internal team that all understand exactly what we're doing, reporting, communication, and all that. So it's, I agree that sticking with one niche, it's one language, one conversation, and it helps the entire team and the culture of the company.
Yeah, I agree. We noticed a significant change internally, let alone the value you can provide to law firms when you only do one thing and you do that great. But internally, we noticed that also that it's a game changer, definitely. Mm-hmm. So what do you see being the biggest kind of difference between doing marketing for law firms versus non-law firm clients? I know you haven't done non-law firm clients for a while now, but if you compare it to your past life.
I think it's the difference. I think the difference would be I think the thing is you have to think similarly when it comes to the language, where attorneys will want to be more legalese. And it's hard to, like say a blue collar company, they just want to say, this is what we do and this is how we help you. And it's more difficult to get attorneys to let's think in common English phrases, right? You've learned all the procedures, you've learned all the big words and all the things, and that doesn't work in marketing, right? Your credentials are not the one thing that leads you. So that's the one thing that's different, is getting them to understand how easy marketing language can be, and it doesn't need to be complicated.
I agree. I think it's our job as a service provider. In your case, you're providing marketing services. We provide accounting and tax, but it's our job to really simplify the model for our clients so they understand what is it that we're providing. Because life is complex enough. It's very. We don't have to make it more complex than it is. So I think you bring up a really good point there, that it's our job to really simplify the offerings for them to kind of grasp it. Nice. Good. Right. I think we have very similar kind of idea of what business is and how we want to work with our clients and help our clients. And I like that. Do you think when you first start working with lawyers for their marketing services here, do you see any areas in the marketing field that there's some miscommunication or misunderstandings that lawyers need a little bit help to kind of understand it better? Is this something that you typically talk to your clients about?
Yeah, and a lot of it revolves around the popularity of video. And I'm not talking about the TikTok thing and all of those trends. I'm talking about simple introduction videos. The thing with attorneys, and I love it, is they're highly educated. They've got the credentials behind them, and it means a lot in the legal field. But whenever you're talking to someone, when you think about the fact that most people, when they reach out to an attorney, they're having a bad day in their life, right? Or a bad period of their life. So your credentials may not mean as much as what you do for them, how you can help them, who you've helped in the past. So I think it's getting the messages down, getting some videos made that introduces yourself, gets your personality and your voice across. And that's one of the things that we try really hard with our attorneys to do. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So we want to make sure that our clients' voices are out there, that their image is out there, and that people understand that they are approachable. So, and that they can help them with their problem.
Would you say creating these videos are one of the first thing you do when you sign up a new client?
We certainly try. That's not always the case, but that's what's worked really, really well is when we have them do, and this is like batch content and FAQ type video. So no matter what service you have in the world, every client has like the same 3 questions, if not same 10 questions, depending on what you're doing. So it's a good idea to make a 30 or 45-second video, ask that question like your potential new client would ask, and then answer that question. That's a video. You could certainly do 5 of those in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Change a shirt a time or 2, and you've got, plenty of content going forward. Those are the types of things that we look for. We have some clients that are absolutely thrilled to give them to us, and it's great because they work well in ads, work incredibly well as social media content. So I would suggest, absolutely, if you're an attorney thinking about how you can appeal online, your voice, your personality, maybe your team, those kinds of things make a big, big difference to people who are looking for you.
I agree. We didn't used to do videos in the past, and when you start doing this, and as you get more comfortable in front of the camera, obviously it's something you got to train, but it doesn't have to be very complicated. You have all of this knowledge. You're sitting on all of this knowledge. You just have to share it. And
and I think one of the hardest thing is whenever we're looking at our phone, whether it's on a tripod or whatever, we're looking at our picture on it and thinking, oh,
yeah,
and and thinking of that. And what just the thought process should be, I'm talking to the person watching this on the other side of the phone, and keep it to that, and let your personality come through. Let your warmth come through, and that's who someone's going to want to help with their divorce or their child custody or any of those kinds of things.
Yeah, I agree. Video is a really great way of kind of promoting not even promoting, but providing value. I think providing value, because people's attention span is so much shorter now than it used to be. I don't want to read 5 pages of an article or a blog. I'd rather hear it in a minute. Oh, that's great information. Move on.
Exactly.
Great point. So when we do that, let's say, do you have different marketing plans for different practice areas, or is it typically the same across the board?
No, they're different. They're custom plans. We have obviously platforms that we provide advertising on, but when it comes to a law firm, what we want to know is where you are now, where you want to be, what are your goals, and what's your culture, and let's talk about that. We get a baseline of where you are with some audits, and then go from there. Where are you getting your cases from, and and how can we enhance those? And some people, it's on like one platform, sometimes it's two, and sometimes it's all the way across from streaming TV ads to Facebook, Instagram, to Google, to YouTube. So, we've got quite a few platforms that we can work with. And our ideal is to find your audience. And by having multi-platforms, if you have the budget for it, it allows us to find your audience and cost effectively get you new cases on a consistent basis.
Interesting. All right. Regarding we're in California, and as you know, California, larger states, typically, what I've noticed, have a lot of PI, personal injury attorneys. At least California, there's a bunch of personal injury attorneys here. And the cost of doing marketing for them, the cost, Google clicks and all that is very, very expensive, as you probably know. And what could be done? What are some low-hanging fruit strategies that these attorneys can implement if they don't have these tens of thousands of dollars, or even sometimes that we see our clients spend hundreds of thousands every month on marketing? What could they do? Is there any easy picks here?
I would say if you're going up against the big guys that are spending that kind of money, and you don't have that kind of money to spend, what you need to do is go grassroots. And that's going to be focusing on your Google business profile. Do everything you can there to outdo them. So your Google business profile, if you think about it, Google is the number one search engine in the world because they treat it like, hard to say, not say a social media platform. They reward engagement, right? If you're engaged with your Google business profile, consistently updating it weekly or every twice a week, they're going to see that you are interested in the user experience, and they will give you potentially a higher rating in the Google Map Pack. So if you do the things your competition is not doing, getting reviews, replying to them, updating your services and products, doing posts twice a week or more. So you're constantly interacting, and put those posts, which are like blog posts, on your website as well. You're feeding the content beast. Videos are just as well, right? You want to do a lot of videos. AI is, looking at all the things across the web. So what you need to do is get really super serious about your your SEO and your website and your Google business profile. And you can rise up in the map pack and be relevant if you can't afford those paid ads.
Interesting. You mentioned about post, put it on the website, but where else would you put them? On your Google account also, or no?
On your Google business profile, there is a section called posts, and they live for 6 months and then roll off. That's why it's good to do like 1 or 2 a week, so that you constantly got a bunch up there. For our clients that we do this for, we do 2 articles a week based on your top keywords that we help you discover. And we do those as 2 blog posts and 2 Google business profile posts. And we have seen such a growth in those positionings. We had one client go from position 28 to position 8 in the course of about 4 weeks, because we started consistently putting keyword-rich, relevant content on both her blog and her Google business profile.
So basically activity. You got to keep on producing material.
Yeah, because everything you put on your Google business profile tells Google what searches you are relevant for. So you're giving them more information. Now they know where to bring you.
What if people make the mistake, which I've seen a bunch of clients when we talk to them about marketing, they typically put it on the website, but nowhere else. Is that good enough?
No. Not with the Google Business Profile. Now the Google Business Profile is free. Okay, you just set it up, verify it, and then make sure you choose your categories in order of the cases that you want. Don't ever say lawyer and law firm or legal services, because there's so many choices in the categories. And I believe that you can, in some places, you can choose multiple categories. Most places you choose 3, and you choose the most the priority. If you're a family law attorney, do you want divorce cases? Make that be your primary category. If you want to be family law, make that the second one. If you want to be child support or father's rights, choose the different ones, but choose your categories. Those are incredibly important as well.
That's very good point. That's nice. Okay, let's move over here a little bit from the marketing here to a little bit numbers. All right. So I like numbers, as you probably can tell. So I want to know roughly, based on if you have any kind of benchmark for your clients that you're working with, but roughly how much of their budget, how much budget do they put? Is it, you might not see these numbers, they might not share these numbers with you, but do you have anything like based on revenue, based on any kind of criteria that they share with you?
Well, the National Law Review published an article a few years ago that, based on practice area, would tell them exactly how much, or the average percentage that they should be spending of the projected goal revenue. Okay. So like family law would be 10 to 12% of your projected goal revenue, right? Personal injury, 18 to 25%. Clearly it's a much larger, right? Estate planning, 6 to 8 to 9%. So if you say you're doing 100,000 today and you want to be at 200,000, I'm just saying really low numbers, or doing 2 million next year, think of that. And then you want to spend 10% of that projected revenue to get to that number, because you can't spend what you're spending right now to get where you want to be if you want to double your revenue. Case in point, I had a potential client recently that was doing 30 cases a month. He wanted to do 85. But when he looked at the cost to do that, just the estimated cost, he wasn't willing to do that. And so in that point, then you're not willing to double your caseload, right? You've got the team, you've got the processes. Why not?
Yeah.
So, okay, then your goal is not to double your firm in the next year.
So why not? When you see come hesitation or pushback there, what would be their kind of reasoning for it?
They just don't want to spend the budget. So maybe they're taking more of the money out of the company, and that's perfectly fine. If your law firm is a lifestyle company, I'm not judging either way. If you want to double, you have to spend more. If you're not spending on marketing, you're shrinking. If you want to grow, you have to get your name out there. You have to do more than everybody else. It's just the law of growing a business. I don't care what your business is. If you want to grow, you've got to spend money to grow.
You got a good point. No, a lot of especially a lot of lawyers that just starting up, they don't see their business as a business. They see it as a practice, and they run it as if they're still an employee of their own company, which they are partially, but they also need to put the business owner hat on and the investor hat on. And I recently, I don't know if I shared it with you, but I recently wrote a book about converting your practice to business, counsel to counsel. And in that book, we're talking a lot about just this. Like, you got to invest. There's no way to build a business by treating your firm as a practice. But if that's what you want, you just want to practice, you just want to have a job, you go to work and come back home, that's perfectly fine, but that's not a business. You might want to reconsider that and go take a job somewhere else, because you're going to have a lot less headaches working for someone else than doing it for yourself.
Yeah, and I look at it like it depends on the time and space in your career or your firm. You either have more time than money or more money than time, right? So if you have more time than money, it's you and you're doing this, do the organic stuff. But know that you're going to eventually have to spend some money, or you're not going to grow where you want to go. That's just the nature of business in general.
I agree. And I think it takes time for professionals in general, specifically lawyers, CPAs as well. I was in the same boat when I first started. It takes time for us to kind of adjust from the professional kind of mindset moving over to the business mindset and start thinking about these kind of things. You need to hear it a few times until it really clicks. But based on what I've seen with my clients, the ones that are really thriving are the ones that really treat their firm as a business. It's that's very, very simple to see trends there. And the numbers you share with us is actually 18 to 20% or 25% for the personal injury ones and less on the other practice areas. But that's what we see with our clients also. It's very similar to the numbers you shared. So it's interesting that that's actually the reality. It's not just a study there.
No, I mean, exactly. And you can, anybody who wants to look on my website under resources, it's actually, I have a link that will take you directly to the article by the National Law Review. And it makes sense. And it's what we've seen across the board. I'm in a mastermind of agencies, and all of us working with attorneys, we see what exactly the numbers make sense.
Do you see any kind of activities, let's say Google versus YouTube or Facebook ads, any kind of percentage wise, where do you spend the dollar amount, and how is there any kind of science behind that?
There is. It depends on the practice area of which is going to work better. You're thinking top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. And I know we hear all about funnels all the time. What we like to do is a multi-platform approach, right? So people who are intently looking for something, so that's going to be bottom of funnel. They know they have a problem. They're searching for it. They're going to be on Google. So the Google PPC is a very good place to get high intent leads and going to a good landing page. And those are things that we work with our clients and we build out for them. If you want awareness and people that are like thinking about it, maybe they're members of, marital problems, Facebook groups, that sort of thing, Meta is a really good place to get some brand awareness, and you can do lead gen there as well. And an overlooked, I guess, platform is YouTube. So YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world because people go there to learn stuff. And if you can put a 15-second or a 30-second commercial in front of where your clients, the channels your clients are looking at, our potential new clients are looking at. So we help them do that by analyzing their offering, their audience, their competition, all the different things you analyze to come up with where's the best place to put their ads. And so we help them in that way. If they're looking for branding because they've already got a pretty good saturation on the paid platforms, streaming TV is great to be in front of people in their office, in their home. So like Tubi is one of the largest ad placed free television in the US. These are unskippable ads. So, and they're like 30 seconds long. Mm-hmm. So these can be something to get right in front of people where they're sitting watching TV. They can't skip the ads. They've got to sit through them.
Interesting. So these are tips that we don't think about. We are non-marketing people. This is awesome. Very good, valuable information here, Marilyn. Do you see, let's say you do marketing. We have two law firms, similar size, similar practice area. They're in the same area. And we both do marketing. We both spend 20% of our revenue. Let's say small firm, $1 million firm. We spend $200,000 each on marketing. Do you see a reason why one firm could get more leads than the other one? Is there anything that outside of the kind of the marketing efforts from your side that the firms can do from their own end to get more leads in?
Absolutely. And it's not necessarily getting more leads in, it's how you handle the leads. Speed to lead is amazingly important. Having someone that answers the phone. If you do not have someone answering the phones 24/7, do not put it that you have 24/7 on your Google Business profile, or hire a team that does 24/7. Our bilingual call center does exactly that. 24/7, we are capturing your calls and we're on with leads in 30 seconds, if less. So those kinds of things, that's where the difference takes place. Now, I've got clients that if a lead comes in, phones them in, and they're not qualified for any reason, they ask them for references or referrals. How's that for thinking outside the box? People don't do that. But yeah, those are the things. It's not necessary if your marketing is generating leads and you're not closing any. The question is, how is your team handling those leads? I've had clients that said, we've audited and our intake people are quote unquote not doing us any favors. So make sure your intake people are trained or hire a service that can do it for you. So you're only talking to qualified cases.
Interesting. Very good. Good points there. Amazing, Marilyn. Obviously, we can't wrap up this conversation without touching on AI. Where we are in the AI world, a lot of things are changing across the world, across different sectors. What's happening in the in the marketing world and AI? What can you share with us?
Well, I've got a new book coming out next month, later this month. That added that in. My 2025 book, we updated it with AI for 2026. The big thing is getting your content out there in human language questions. So when we talked about your FAQ videos, ask the questions in video as well as text on the same page, the way people would ask the question. AI is looking around the web to see and gather information when someone says, what's a good divorce attorney in Dallas, Texas? AI is going to go out and look at all the ones they thought about, and then they're going to look at everything they've got on the web about them, whether it's their reviews, their blog posts, their website, anything off, Facebook, any of their stuff. So being more prolific with your content in a more human language, instead of saying something with time to file a divorce in Houston. It's going to be the question, how long does it take to get a divorce in Texas? So we turn around kind of the things that we're saying and do those. We want to provide AI what they want. And that also plays into the answer engine optimization. That's the Hey Google, the Siri, that sort of thing.
Interesting. Do you think AI will, or is it already kind of simplifying the content creation more from the firm's perspective? Because obviously some of the work needs to be done by the firm, even though if they hire you or any other agency, like creating the videos. Can some of that be streamlined using AI already today? I'm sure it will be in the future, but where are we now with that?
Absolutely. Great question. And I've had several people on my podcast, we talked about this in detail. AI can help you review documents, draft documents, and even communications with clients like emails and that sort of thing. It is never a standalone tool, right? It is the first draft. So you can think about it as a junior paralegal, right? I need to draft this thing, have it do it, and then you go back, and now it's the second paralegal level. So you've saved the amount of time to draft that document. Now you're, several steps ahead. You save several hours. Now you've got something you can work with. It saves a lot of time that way.
Amazing. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
Obviously, with everything that comes, there are good and bad sides, but I strongly believe in AI. I think AI is already changing a lot for the better, in my opinion. If you use it for the right reason and the right way, yes, it will probably take some jobs away from us. But as anything else, opportunity will come up.
I think it's going to replace the jobs that are lost are going to be replaced by people who know how to use AI. It's the same thing as technology way back as manufacturing was changing. I believe the other thing that needs to be brought out is the original problems that people had with that briefs being filed without being reviewed. The hallucinations that were happening are not happening as much anymore. There's in your AI, you can say cite your references. And if there's not a reference, it's not a citation. So AI has gotten a lot better about that. But also, it's just like a junior paralegal. No offense, junior paralegals, but you would not take something they put together and file that without reviewing it. So if you put that AI in place in its level of authority of where it is in your systems, you won't have a problem because you will always have someone review that work and approve it before it goes further.
I agree. I think exciting times are definitely ahead of us if we take advantage of it. Let's wrap it up. I want to hear a success story. I like positive energy and positive things. And give me a success story with a solo or a small firm who just started with you, and then kind of where they are at this point?
Yeah. An immigration attorney came to me that had been working with someone else that had been with them for about 5 months, and they had virtually zero ROI, couldn't see anything coming in. So we took this client and running meta ads, and it worked out really well. In the course of they're averaging the first month, we got them 23 cases. So their fear that they wouldn't be able to renew the following month, that was it was $89,000 in
Wow.
retainers. They collect 10% and then payments on the rest of it, but still, that was the contracts. So, those are the types of results that you can get. Obviously, as you go into fourth quarter, those things are going to go down, but still, considering that the investment per month was less than $5,000, and they're getting anywhere between, on average, good and bad months, between 12 and 23 cases a month, that's a pretty amazing ROI.
Amazing. That's exciting. Fantastic. Marilyn, I had a fantastic time here. I think our audience here got a lot of valuable information from you here. Anything you want to share with our audience before we wrap up for today? Anything else? Any last word here?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget your Google business profile and how important it is to help grow your business locally and be found in the maps. If you want an audit to see where you are with a competitive analysis and your online presence, go to lawmarketingzone.com and book a time with me. It's a 15-minute phone call. We can get some information for you. My team and I'll run some reports and see where you rank and know what steps to follow after that. So lawmarketingzone.com.
Lawmarketingzone.com, guys, check it out. How can they, so that's your website, any email, phone number, how do you prefer getting reached?
You could reach me at admin@mjmediagroup.co. That's the best way to get me, or on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn or
admin@mjmediagroup.co. Or just go to lawmarketingzone.com and book a time.
Lawmarketingzone.com, guys. Marilyn, this was fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Emil, thank you so much. It was fun to be here. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon again.
Bye-bye.